The price of petrol rose further on Monday. The fuel was selling at rupees 79.15 a litre in Delhi and 86.56 a litre in Mumbai. With an increase of 0.39 per litre, the price of diesel meanwhile rose to rupees 71.15 a litre in Delhi and rupees 75.54 a litre in Mumbai. Fuel prices have been on the rise since August 16 after the rupee dipped to its lowest value against the US dollar. Petrol and diesel prices had gone up by almost ₹1 a litre within a fortnight. Union Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Dharmendra Pradhan blamed the external factors for the rise in the domestic price of petrol and diesel on Sunday. Pradhan said that the factors responsible for the drop in production of crude oil have resulted in the rise of fuel prices in the country. A Myanmar court has sentenced two Reuters journalists to 7 years in prison in what is being called a black day for press freedom. The two journalists were jailed for illegally possessing official documents. The two men had pleaded not guilty during their trial and had repeatedly claimed that they were being framed. The reporters were convicted of breaching the country's secrecy law during the reporting of the Rohingya massacre. Reporters Valone and Khoi So have been held in Yangon prison since their arrest in December 2017.
They will take any option, all options to get them out, including those questioning, the appeal, the revocation, all those things. We will take immediately, as soon as possible, to release them.
Reuters editor-in-chief issued a response to the verdict, calling it a sad day for the Myanmar, the two Reuters journalists and the press everywhere.
This is a major step backward in Myanmar's transition to democracy, cannot be squared with the rule of law or freedom of speech, and must be corrected by the Myanmar government as a matter of urgency. We will not wait while WION and Chaw So Oo suffer this injustice, and will evaluate how to proceed in the coming days, including whether to seek relief in an international forum.
This is sending a signal to the rest of the Myanmar reporters that if you cross the military, if you cross the government, they can make your life a living hell. And we saw in this court very little presented in terms of real evidence to indicate that there was a violation. It looked like a setup to us from the get-go. And the truly ironic and horrible thing about this is that these two reporters are now slated to spend longer time in prison than the soldiers who killed the 10 Rohingya that was the subject of their story in the first place.
Meanwhile, the United Nations in Myanmar has called for the release of the jailed reporters. The two journalists were investigating the killing of 10 members of Rohingya community in Rakhine State. The two journalists said that they were invited to dinner by the police, who handed them documents before the pair was arrested. The duo, both Myanmar nationals, were charged with violating the Official Secrets Act, a draconian British colonial-era law which attracts a maximum punishment of 14 years in prison. The case had sparked international outrage over the attack on media freedom and has intensified the glare on Myanmar security forces over their crackdown on the Rohingya Muslim minority in the Rakhine State. Military crackdown in Myanmar last year has driven 700,000 Rohingyas into neighboring Bangladesh and other countries. Persecuted Rohingyas left home, carrying with them accounts of atrocities, rape, murder and arson by Myanmar security forces. Some foreign governments and international organizations have described the Myanmar security forces crackdown against Rohingya minority as ethnic cleansing. After incessant rainfall and flooding, the people of Shantao city in southern China are beginning to piece their lives back together. The severe flooding has plagued Gurao city and heavy downpour in the area of Thursday, with the deepest flood depth surpassing the 2 meter. The flooding, which spanned over 7 square kilometers, has gradually begun to retreat. Local authorities are working to pump out the flood water. The Guangdong Fire Department has dispatched 14 mobile pumping machines from other cities to help in the operations. Rescuers were seen patrolling on boats across the city to help evacuate Indian residents and deliver supplies to those trapped in homes.
21,600立方米。那么除了这个以外，那包括广东消防还有广东三防各个部门，还是